This Turbo Duo is not a toy. It's a sophisticated multimedia video entertainment system that uses the latest CD technology, not rated for little boys. With CD capabilities prepared for install for sight and sound. It's upwardly and downwardly compatible with games and graphics that make others look like mere child's play. Step into the next dimension. Get the new Turbo Duo. It's not a toy. Now get 5 free games, including Gate of Thunder, when you buy the new Turbo Duo. Sold at stores near you.
Today's the day. We just got it in a box. And of course I had to remove the label because, well, I don't want you motherfuckers to see where I live. It's finally here. This is the Analogue Duo. Just showed up from UPS. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't even taken the box cutter to it. But now I am on camera. As, by the way, don't mind the background. You know, older girls get with gabbing, blah, 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 blah. You know how it is. If I get to be like that when I'm older, shoot my ass. But anyway, here is the little padding that comes with it. Same as the pocket. And voila, put it over by the chair. This is the Duo. And this is a fucking big fucking thing. My God. I didn't expect it to be so huge. I thought it was smaller than the original Duo. I got the USA one here. There's not much. Analog is always simple packaging, much like the iPhone. See if I can make a clip in here without trying to clip the box. There we go. Because with these kind of boxes, I don't want to screw it up. So, a lot of plastic. Now, as I'm recording this, which is the day after the Super Bowl, and I'm going to be fucking started on that, Analogue has claimed that they have shipped all outstanding Duos and pockets. And so as of the recording of this video, you can now go on Analogue's site and buy a Duo and or a pocket and or a dock, and it will ship within 24 to 48 hours. This came second day air, UPS. Went out on Thursday night, got it today. It's Monday. So I guess they were really serious about getting those orders out. And by the way, if you're spending $30 for shipping, it's about damn time they send out first second day air. So now we're gonna open this bad boy up. Yes. Got the foam underneath, and such a big box for such a small item. Here it is. It is the Duo. It's finally here. Finally got it. And it looks like the American Turbo Duo, which I like. And I like how sleek it is, especially since all of my electronics are pretty much black. My PS5, excuse me. PS5 is, soundbar, TV, Xbox. So this had to be black as well. Plus also, I grew up with the Turbo Duo for a significant amount of years growing up at my aunt's house, who bought one on clearance right when her Turbo died, her CD drive died. You got the squiggles on the back. Oh, that's funny because this, by the way, this is rubber. So this is meant to hold down the Duo. This is more reminiscent of a Famicom, the early cartridges that had the squiggles in it. Got the Analogue logo here. It's right here, designed in the US, UK, made in China. And your usual, what do you call it? You know, your regulatory stuff. We have the power USB, and it does come with a USB brick this time. Unlike the Pocket, which only came with the cable. 2 USB ports over here, but you really won't need them, and I'll show you why. HDMI, and where our full-size SD card goes. Now, you need an SD card for this because even though as of the recording of this video, there's no jailbreak, you're gonna need an SD card if you want to save your games, and especially if we're gonna play CDs, you're gonna need an SD card to back up your saves. Also screenshots, and when they're implemented, save states, as well as your library. Well, the library is implemented right now, and we'll show you that in a little bit. But you're going to need that for save states, and you're going to need that for screenshots. And we got our slot for the turbo chips, and even though it looks a little big, it is not, because it goes all the way in. We have our eject button with our drive, and we have our power button. And on the back, it's not the back, Jesus Christ, on the side here, excuse me, we have the port for the wired controller. Now, a small problem with this, and I personally don't mind it, but I know there's a lot of turbo fans out there that do, so I'll say it for them. This is for a PC Engine style slot. And the reason why that's sort of bad is because there's turbo collectors out there with a whole load of turbo items. Now, if you have a Turbo Graphics 16 controller or a turbo stick, when NEC brought it over to the States, they made the connector bigger. Now this is accurate to the Duo, because when the original Turbo Duo came out in the States, it used the smaller PC Engine connector. And they did sell a small cable that allowed you to connect up a TurboGrafx controller. It was a male that went into this slot and a female that you can plug your TurboGrafx controller and your turbo stick into. So keep that in mind. If you're going to use turbo stuff on this one, American TurboGrafx stuff, and to some extent, if you're one of the rare people that have a European TurboGrafx console and controllers and things, and yes, they exist, look it up, you're going to need a converter to use your stuff on here. But it does work. I don't have it on me because I'm using wireless, but it does work. Headphone jack. You also got your volume slider up and down, which is cool because because the original console had a headphone jack as well. And this is your sync button, and this is your controller. Now you can use up to 4 controllers wirelessly with this. So you don't need a multi-tap unless you're planning on adding a 5th, but let's be honest, who the hell's doing that? So that covers it for the Duo itself. Now, in the box, after this little slip cover, we have a few items. Firstly, CB01 is your HDMI cord. And it's really thin. I wish Analogue personally would have sprung for a, thicker HDMI cord. I got plenty of them here in the house, but this is actually pretty long. I'd say this is about 6 feet, I want to say. And it comes with the caps, and it's Analogue branded. So I'm guessing that comes with the dock, but I've never seen it. Interestingly enough, this Analogue Duo uses the Pocket firmware from the Analogue Pocket, but it doesn't have the open FPGA. So when you plug this up to your TV, it acts as a Pocket with dock. So that's interesting to keep in mind, by the way. And we got CB02, which is our USB, and a free pack of candy. Cool. Save that for later. Anyway, I know it's silica gel. It's a joke. And in 2024, you have to explain these things to people. We have our USB-C to USB-C. And while technically you could plug it up to a cell phone charger or whatever, Analogue recommends that you don't. And since it comes with the charger, I'm going to take their word for it. Because this doesn't use 5 volts. I think this uses 12 because of the CD drive. So it uses a higher voltage than your normal Analogue product, which is why it comes with a power adapter. And how the fuck Did I get this out? There we go. So let's see what the voltage rating is on this, if it even has one. It does not, but there's the USB-C, so it's a USB-C to power. Oh, wait, there it is. It is input 100 to 240 volts, so this is a worldwide adapter. You obviously just need the changeover for your plugs, 50 to 60 hertz. I think it's a 60, yeah. 1.5 volts is really tiny. Output, it uses DC 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts at 2 amps, 12 volts at 1.5 amps, and as I said, this is 12 volts. So, with that out of the way, let's see if there's anything underneath, and I don't think so, because Analogue usually does a pretty good job with these boxes. And yeah, see, it's glued. There's nothing, nada under here. So, that's it. That's the Analogue. And don't have to worry about that coming loose. It's a really friggin' heavy box, so I'm hoping there's no damage. So, anyway, we're going to set up the Duo, and we're going to first initialize it, test out a few games, and obviously the Super Graphics Collection we're going to test with it. But I've also got a small selection of CDs that I made, repros. I have more than this, but I grabbed like 5 of my favorite games for the Duo. We got Dracula X. I do have the PCEWorks one coming in, the 4-in-1 Super CD, Last Alert. We need an arcade card game, so we're going to go with Sapphire, and Lords of Thunder. So we're going to set up the Duo. We're going to test this out. But first, there's one major thing we need to do. And I'm going to put it in this video, but I'm also going to make a separate video with that clip, just so if you have the same problem, you can look it up. And that is how to set up the 8-bit DOE controller for use with the Analogue Duo. So now that you have the Analogue Duo, you're going to need a controller to play it with. And this is the controller they officially recommend. This is the 8-bit DOE TG16 2.4 gigahertz wireless gamepad. Now, originally it's for the PC Engine Mini as well as the Turbo Graphics Mini. However, it's made for the Analogue as well. I got it, there's a few colors. I got it in the Turbo Graphics version because I got an American colored Duo. They also make one that's Japanese with the white, and it looks a lot nicer, but I didn't get that one. I wish they would make one that actually better matched the Japanese Duo, but whatever's whatever. So we're going to open this real quick. I didn't open this yet because I'm waiting for my Duo, and I should try to get that part a little backwards. And it is a tight fit. Now, I didn't get this from Amazon. It came straight from the factory. So yes, I got it from China. So it's the first time I'm seeing it as well as you. And we got our gamepad. And it actually looks pretty cool. This is the gamepad. And at first I wasn't going to get it because in the pictures it looks so simple. But looking at Happy Console Gamer getting his, and look, especially now looking at it in person, I made the right choice. I wish they would have a little more of the accent, but can't fault them for trying. And of course, you got your home button, your run button, your select button, and the home button will come in handy. USB, I think that's, no, it's, I'm sorry, it's a micro USB. Damn it, oh well. And it gone on the back. Now, there is something you have to do with this controller for it to work wirelessly on the Duo, because this will work natively on the Analogue Duo, considering that the Duo is based off the Pocket and Dock combination. So there is something we have to do with this controller. I will show you in a minute, as well as tell you. It comes with their wireless receiver as well as the cable. Now for this step, because we're about to go to the PC, we are going to need the cable, but we are not going to need this. Technically, if you really wanted to, you could, if you're going to use that controller for other things, you can use this on your Duo with the wireless receiver. But this controller is going to be strictly for the Duo only. So we're going to add some firmware to it that will make it exclusive to the Duo and nothing else. Now, it is reversible, but we're just going to show you how to do this. So let's go to the computer. Now, I mentioned about special firmware that needs to be on this pad for it to work natively with the analog. So we're going to go to support.8bitdo.com/analog/dock. We see our controller here. We click on firmware for analog dock. We save it. Now we're going to open it. And you'll see 3 files. Copy firmware to UDisk, our analog firmware version 5.0 file, and a README. So we're going to extract them all. And we're going to start copy firmware to UDisk. Open with our analog. Now this is the hardest part that a lot of people got wrong, and even I got wrong a couple times. So what you want to do is not plug it in yet. And you want to hold down the select button and press the home button until both LEDs are lit and blinking. So it puts the controller in drive mode. Now we're going to plug it in. And it should detect as a drive, as you can see, F version 402. So the controller is at 402 right now. And it's going to come up as such on the F drive, which is the controller. So now what we're going to do is we're going to update. And it says, please wait while the firmware is being copied. It does that. Firmware upgrade successful. And as you can see right there, PCE 5.0 for analog. So we're going to exit out of that, unplug it, and just for shits and giggles, we're going to plug it back in. And we're going to do the copy to UDisk again, just to make sure. And as you can see now, going by here, you can see the gamepad is now at 5.0, which now means that it will work with your Analogue Duo. No nub necessary. And by the way, it's reversible. So remember that. But if you're going to use this on anything and just the analog like I am, you don't need to reverse it. But it is reversible if you want to do that. So that is now how you upgrade your controller. So let's start playing with the analog. After that little bit of work, we have our Duo set up. Got the cords, got it hooked up to everything. First, you need to take our SD card. I have a 32 gig in here. And I preloaded it with the library that I forget who made it. I'll put the link in the description to that. And just to make sure, I think it goes... Okay, so it is keyed, so it only goes in one way. It goes in this. Now, don't expect the spring because it won't spring to life. So now that the Duo's ready, let's do it. We have our Duo ready to go. So let's press power. And you heard that flip, and it's upgrading our Duo. Hi there. Because I put the latest firmware on it, which should enable the library function, which you're going to see at work pretty soon. Now I've also got this, which came from PCEWorks as a freebie. So it's a factory press disc. So we'll test repro discs, which are CD-Rs. We'll test some of the repros, which are CDs, one currently, and then our Super Graphics collection that I showed you guys not too long ago. Don't have the Everdrive in yet. It's coming, so I won't be able to test that right away. Got a nice selection of games. By the way, if you haven't watched the unboxing yet, you should totally do that, because even the most discerning among you that only want legitimate games will love these, because these are, like, if you didn't know any better, they're legit. And of course, you hear the flip of the CD drive. And we should be ready to go in just a second here. Because this is initial setup here. Preparing SD card. Finishing upgrade, of course. That must be new because I didn't see that on the pocket. By the way, one thing I need to stress is that this is supposed to be one of the fixed duos. So the CD drive issue and the issue with the Kung Fu grip on the carts is supposed to be fixed, because there are people that had problems with scratching CDs and they sent it in. It got fixed, but apparently these versions are the ones with the fixes already installed. So, okay, so we have our controller synced, and frigate, let's do the tutorial. For the best experience, Duo requires a dedicated SD card to support Analogue OS features and original save games. Do not use an SD card that's set for a different Analogue product. Yeah. I don't have to worry about that, but some of you people that use the same flash cards for same SD card for different Everdrives, take note. Memories. I'm not going to give you the Cats version because I suck at singing, so I'm not even going to try. You can look it up on Spotify or Apple Music if you want to for the reference. Anyway, memories allow you to capture save states and screenshots at any point during gameplay. To capture a save state during gameplay, hold home and then press up on the D-pad. With original controllers, hold up on the D-pad, then press select. To capture a screenshot during gameplay, hold home and then press start. Update Analogue OS to enable save states. Which I don't think that thing is out yet. Library. Library is a reference level database to catalog your game collection and the games you play. A scholarly cataloging of the entirety of your video game history. Every time you play a HuCard or CD, it will be automatically added to the library, showing the date added and total playtime. By the way, side note, I don't think an Everdrive does the cataloging of what you play. But anyway, for the best experience, we suggest adding user-generated images on your SD card. I already did that. Press select to cycle views. Press L and R, I guess left and right, to cycle A to Z. Display modes. Our original display modes recreate the appearance of original hardware displays, such as the PC Engine LT and the PC Engine GT. By the way, the laptop and the Turbo Express. To quickly change the display mode during gameplay, hold select or home, then press left or right on the D-pad. Sleep and web. I'm regretting fucking doing this now. Anyway, select and suspend and resume gameplay using sleep and wake. Gameplay will continue from where you left off. Sleep Duo at any point during gameplay by quickly pressing the power button from the Analogue OS menu. Wake Duo to resume gameplay by quickly pressing the power button or start on the controller. Update Analogue OS. I don't think that's about. In-game menu. Jesus, it's not done yet. Open and close in-game menu by pressing the home button on your controller. If your controller does not have a home button, or when using an original controller, hold select and down in the D-pad. Update Analogue OS. Yeah, we did that already. Set the date and time. It is 2024, February. That's right, it's British time. I forgot about that. It is 5 p.m. And of course, you got the thing for the user guide. All right, so now we're at the main menu. Insert game, library, memories, controllers, settings, power off. Of course, there's no library because we didn't play nothing. You got your Duo. Here's your settings, by the way. Duo, system, video, audio, region, super graphics, auto detect. I have that on, where you can press on and off. CD-Rom, auto detect. I got that enabled too. This is really good for, like, if you want to play those mini games that are on some of the super CDs that you don't usually get on, how do I explain it? Some super CD games, like Dracula X, for example. And I think I should show that. Have this mini game that plays when you have just CD-ROM detected and it can't detect super CD-ROM. As a matter of fact, let's do that. and that'll be the first game we play in here. So, yeah, let's say we do that. So this way I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're gonna pop Dracula X into here, and I think this is one of the ones I made with the printer. So it's a Teo Uden R, and we're gonna insert that into our Duo. I'm gonna slide it in, and you have to slide it almost all the way in first. Ooh, that's crunchy. And I do have it at an angle because I have it pointed somewhat toward the screen. Play Akuma Joe Dracula X. Here we go. And here's your library, by the way. Let me just adjust the screen. Aspect ratio, cinema, no. Normal. Picture, no. Put on game, what the hell. This is an older TV, so I know that the picture's not going to completely show. But anyway, this is how the library looks. It's got the title screen to the game, Akuma Joe Dracula X, Chino Rondo, Super CD-Rom, and developer, publisher, and region. Put that in your library too. We're going to play. Now, remind you, we have only the CD-Rom enabled. So we should get a mini game that you're not used to seeing. And the reason for this is because it's a little Easter egg that you could still use the disc even though you don't have a Super System card. And it's when you use a CD-ROM card with a Duo, I'm sorry, if you use a CD-ROM card with Dracula X instead of a Super CD, you unlock this, which is Stage X. Before you get to a menu that says you need the Super CD-ROM card. It's like, what's up? Okay, so let's go home, quit game. Now we're going to leave it in here because we're going to change the CD-ROM now to auto detect. And by the way, you will need to disable, I got to ask Crix, but I believe you need to disable CD-ROM if you're going to use a game on the Turbo Everdrive Pro. So if you're going to play a CD off the Turbo Everdrive Pro, you need to disable CD-ROM and enable HuCard audio, which is that. Okay, so now we're going to play it again, but this time it's going to be what you're used to seeing out of Dracula X. And it actually looks pretty fast. And I burned these at 8x. So I know a lot of you people have CD drives. You only can really burn to like 16x or whatever, but I'm lucky to have a drive that burns at 8. And for turbos, I don't know if it matters on the Duo. I should do testing one day as a separate video. But the slower you burn, the better the turbo will read it. And of course, they make you go through this whole goddamn thing, you know, for Dracula X. So we might as well watch it. So as a reminder, this is a burnt disc. Now, another reason why I choose to burn discs, in addition to obviously being cheaper, is that from all reports, CDRs are the best to play on the Duo. Usually that's the opposite for the PC Engine, where physical discs are, you know, actual originals are recommended over Rs because it could cause damage to laser. But on this one being an emulation device, an FPGA console, CDRs are better because the drive is a more modern drive. Now, there's been reports that if you try to play a press disc, whether it's PCEWorks or an original CD, then it will not work or give skips and things. So now we're going to play this. Oh, that's right, I gotta go down the name entry first. I haven't played this in a while, so forgive me. Gotta use my name on here. Now, that's another reason for the SD card, because this is obviously a CD game, so it's gonna have a CD backup. So rather than saving to the inner memory, because this has none, it's gonna save to your SD card. And the beauty with that also is it's a save per game. So it's not going to build up the system memory as it would on a regular Super CD or Duo or CD-Rom unit. You literally have as much memory space as your SD card allows. And of course, you're forced to watch this too. This is one of those trailers that, like, may have been cool in 1993, but if you're just trying to make sure things work, it's making you regret your life's choices. And of course, we have to beat death, which in real life is not really possible, I guess. Damn it, come on. Come on, hit me with the damn thing already. There we go. And that should save at least the first level, I think. Okay, so enough of this. So now it's in our library because you could see we played it. Settings. I don't think they'll show our save data, will it? Probably not. So anywho, let's eject the disc out of the Duo. First of all, I want to check for any scratches. And right now, I don't see any. So that's a good sign. It shows that they fixed the fucking drive. Okay, so now that we tried a CD game, let's try a HuCard game. And the only HuCards I have is the Super Graphics collection. So we're going to pop in 1941. And I know why start with that. Rather, why not start with Ghouls and Ghosts? And that's because this is quicker. Of course, you see, it's almost as legit. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell if you really weren't looking for that logo. Like, this honestly looks like the real thing. So now we're going to pop this into our Duo. And it pops up immediately. It takes a little bit of force to get it in. 1941 Counterattack. And it labels it as a Super Graphics, okay. And starts up immediately. That's where I forgot it's B to shoot. And of course, being the 8-bit DOE controllers, I have a Turbo Run, you know, Turbo 2 and Turbo 1, I should say. But that, holding the B button does come in handy. I know I'm messing up. I usually don't mess up like that on here, but we're just testing to make sure if things work. Both sides will get more energy anyway. And this is around the time where that multi thing comes in handy, because it helps make short work of this thing, of this early first boss. And there's boss 1. Just to make sure. And of course, save isn't supported yet, so. Wait. I accidentally turned off my controller. Oh, Jesus Christ. So now I gotta put my, don't tell me I gotta sync it up every time now. Oh, I had to press on the button. That's stupid. And I pressed power off by accident. Oh well. Gets us where we want to go. I just wanted to test the game out. And has, you know, the usual on the pins, but a lot of people were complaining about bent pins. And as you can see, there's no bent pins, at least on the PCEWorks stuff. I know the camera doesn't want to cooperate with me, but no bent pins. So that's good. Just had the usual wear and tear as a Duo. And that about covers it for now. So we tried a HuCard, we tried a CD. Oh, one thing we got to try, by the way. And flip. Okay, so now it's syncing to the thing, no problem. Want to try this factory press disc from PCEWorks. And yes, it is factory. We're just going to move this real quick so I can put it in. And as you can see, you got to push almost all the way in. The Duo only takes it like part of the way in. It's reading it. And there's no identification on here. That's weird. Will it play? It should play. This is the story of May 2299 AD.
こんにちは。私ユナ。私立白岡大女子高校の1年生。今まではなんてことのない普通の女子高校生だったんだけど。
It seems like it works so far.
第21回
don't see no skips yet. Because apparently what they're complaining about press discs is audio sync. Alright, so far we've tried a factory press disc, a HuCard, and a repro. All seems fine with the Duo. So now I'm going to put it through its paces. I'm going to play it a little more. And when the Everdrive comes, I'm going to show you that too. So, happy gaming.
Let's spend the night together, Dio. Bonnie and I work together having fun. Please stop the cooking. You are steady done. You know that. Look at the bright side of your life.
家中楽しいソフトいっぱい CD-Rom ゲームマシン